Well, it's just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing a brand new restaurant in Ahwatukee, Peony Garden Buffet. Did I say that right?
That's correct. Thank you.
This is Tauna Lorie and Lorie Liu, and their restaurant is right across from my favorite restaurant, the Waffle House. That's why I have this fabulous figure. So if you go to Chandler and 48th Street, so you're driving down Chandler to I-10, and you see on the left is the Waffle House. Well, on the right, you would see Peony Garden Buffet. You would see Dunkin' Donuts right there. So Chandler is the busiest street in the morning.
Yes.
Because like the street I'm on, Elliott, only goes back a mile and a half. Yes. And then Warner only goes back a mile and a half. Ray goes back about 5 miles. But Chandler goes all the way to the end of the foothills. So you pick the best location because everyone's leaving via I-10.
Right.
So when you go and look at the traffic count on 48th and Chandler, it's every time there's a red light in the morning, it's backed up 100 yards. So, and you named it, I think that is so romantic, you named it after a flower. And this is am I saying it right, Peony?
That's correct.
Peony, and it's just a beautiful flower, and they were both born in Taiwan, and they said it's a very common flower in Taiwan and China.
Actually, the name is from you, right? You picked it. Lorie picked up.
Lorie, good job.
Yeah, she picked up the name for the restaurant.
Well, let me read your bio. I'll quit talking about a flower. Here at Peony Garden Buffet, our ambience is almost as good as our authentic Chinese food. We are a friendly family restaurant that provides satisfying flavors as well as a comfortable setting for you and your family to gather around. Family is the foundation that this Chinese buffet was built on, and they pride themselves on family-oriented culture. They aim to be the designated place for families to congregate in and enjoy each other's company. The fantastic dishes that they serve aim to please everyone with tantalizing flavors that are sure to meet their mark. Whether you're visiting us for our sushi, American food, Asian food, we ensure that your meals are made with utmost integrity. It is our greatest pleasure to invite you and your family to be their guests at their new Sushi Bar. They only serve quality food and pride themselves in our unique atmosphere. It's funny, I grew up in Kansas, the middle of the country. I never even saw sushi, and I never ate sushi until I'm 55 now. I think I was 50 years old, and then the first time I ate it, I was addicted to it. I think it's that the horseradish sauce.
Right, the wasabi.
Wasabi. Oh my God, I dream about wasabi.
Good.
But and I really think it's neat that you mix that you call yourself a family restaurant by mixing Chinese food with American food, because I raised all four of my boys were born in Ahwatukee. And until they were 3 or 4, if they didn't serve chicken fingers and a glass of milk, I couldn't take my kids. I mean, I couldn't take my kids to go eat spicy foods when they were babies. And I remember one time I felt so bad as a parent. I think my oldest one was like 2. And we were at Macayos, and I said, and I talked him out of the chicken fingers, and he was going to try a big boy taco. And he took one bite of that and just cried for, it was just like the worst thing that ever happened to him. So your restaurant's a month old. How's it doing after 1 month?
I think it's pretty good, and they pick up the business, and I just like you say, need the marketing that people or community, realize there's a nice, family-owned and fresh Chinese dishes plus American dishes.
Well, that's why we had you here, to help try to market you. And how much do we charge you for this? Nothing. Yes. I'm trying to help grow the community.
Thank you.
And so you're 1 month into it. Now, how are most of your customers this month finding you? Just because you're on a really busy street?
Yes, most. And then some kind of come back from the repeat customers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then maybe from mouth of the word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Right. They come back. So we definitely would like to have more marketing, and that's why we came here. And that was nice of both of you let us come and do the advertisement free.
Well, Ryan, you came back the first time you ate there. You came back and were very, very impressed.
I've eaten there twice. Both times very good.
Yeah,
Good,
I mean sushi. So is sushi? Now that's really hard to make, isn't it?
Actually, her mom is an expert. She learned from the teacher, so she knows how to make it, and also the quality is definitely is very high quality because that's a city, Phoenix. They really require that, and we also very cautious about the sushi because the seafood.
Yeah, I remember learning about sushi 20 years before I ever ate it. That it was actually invented as a way to preserve food through the winter, and by taking fish and rolling it up real tight in rice, the rice would take all the water out, and to grow something you need water,
right?
And it would take all the water out. Whereas other countries, to get rid of the water, they would salt it. They'd salt it down.
Right.
Whereas the Asians would pull the water out with the rice and roll it up real tight. And they said that I think it was 1,000 years ago that the best sushi people could store fish 2 years at room temperature.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing.
That's so amazing. Because now we don't think about that because everybody has a refrigerator.
Right.
But before refrigerators and before ice, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So so you have a sushi bar?
Yes. Yes, and then have all fresh, sashimi, and also sure some is cooked. Like some California roll, they are cooked. Some are cooked, but like a sashimi, they are raw, but they are the top grade.
So what is more popular, sashimi or sushi?
I think very popular is sushi. See, like a California roll, I think everyone, we like it. Everyone likes that. And then sashimi, only the people, they know how to eat it because it's different, it's a raw fish. So you have to like a seafood in order to like a sashimi.
I think the funniest story of family dining I ever had, I think the boys were like 2, 4, 6, and dad and mom, and the first boy, me and their mother were born in Kansas, and so we grew up on steak and potatoes and all that, and not hardly any seafood back in the 60s and the 70s there. And the oldest boy, I don't know why, but he just fell in love with, I think it was like lobster. And then the next boy ordered shrimp, and then the next boy ordered, I think it was salmon. And we got down to the baby, and he said, "I'll take the cow." And
That's cute.
it was the only time I'd ever heard anyone order a cow because everybody was ordering an animal,
right?
And he wanted the hamburger, and he just thought it was a cow. And but it was very funny. So, what other types of food do you offer?
Right. They also have a fresh oyster, right?
Yes. And crawfish, some stuff like
Roast beef, right?
Yes,
The roast beef.
Roast beef.
Yes, roast beef, the American.
So your American, what is your, well, back to oysters, because there's really two types of oysters. There's kind of raw, like sashimi, and then there's the Rockefeller oysters, which would kind of be more like a California spring roll, right?
So this one is a fresh, right?
Right.
It's a fresh oyster.
Yeah.
They served in the dinner time. That's a fresh. And they also have crab legs, right?
yes, we do.
Crab legs.
Yes.
That is the one thing I haven't really got into yet. Sashimi. I love sashimi. I love sushi. But lobster and crab legs, to me, it seems like I'm just using it to eat butter. It's just a dipping thing for butter. It's like bread. Like no one sits down and eats bread. They put butter all over it, so they're really eating butter, and the bread is just carrying it there.
Right.
So when you say also American food, it's roast beef.
Right, roast beef, and then jello, right, and dessert, cake, chocolate cake, and ice cream.
And what do the kids usually eat? Like how young have you ever seen a kid born in Ahwatukee start eating sashimi and sushi and oysters? Do you see it very often?
Yeah, not really, cause the child like some stuff like sweet stuff,
Yes.
like the gel, and some cake, the small cookie.
They
like cake and cookie.
Ice cream, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you know what tradition we always did when they were little, which I thought was very, very fun, is, when it's New Year's Eve.
Right.
And you got 4 kids, and other people they don't have kids, they're going to New Year's Eve parties and drinking champagne. I got these 4 babies. Do you remember what we used to do?
No, what?
You don't remember?
What exactly?
We would take them to the grocery store up the street. So we lived in Ahwatukee, and we always lived up the street from Safeway. So we'd take them to Safeway, and we'd say, you have to find and buy and eat something you've never eaten before.
Oh, I think that's
And
great.
do you ever remember that?
No.
Oh my God, you would,
I
so first to find something crazy, I mean, they were finding jars of pig's feet and this and that. Cause,
Right.
because usually when you go into a grocery store, you're just reordering
Right,
the same
right.
things.
Yes, that's true.
And also, you being taller, you're looking in the middle shelves, and them being smaller, they're looking at all these weird items, 1 foot off the floor. And they would literally find 20, 30 crazy things.
Oh, I bet.
And we would come home, and it was 4 boys trying to be braver than the other. They were, they were trying all these things. But that was one of our that was our New Year's Eve tradition. And you don't remember that?
No.
No.
Wow, I think that's a cool
Yeah.
tradition.
Yeah, that's one tough thing about parenting. A lot of the stuff you do before they're 6 or 7 or 8, they're never going to remember. So, do you remember me beating you or throwing you out a window or?
That's good.
So I guess there's benefits to no memory.
Right.
But yeah. So what is the top selling business part right now? Is it this? Is it the? What are most people coming in for right now? What's the hottest?
I think it's crab legs.
Crab legs.
Yeah, and the roast beef.
But now, yeah, roast beef is amazing. What about a lot of people like beer and wine or drinks? Do you have a full bar or a half bar or?
I think it's a half bar. It's a
Yep,
no mix, just beers and wine.
Beer and wine.
Yeah. Beer.
So no hard
Beer.
liquor.
No.
Yeah. Now is that something because it's a very expensive license to get to do that, or is it a zoning thing?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Definitely.
Definitely.
And also they do serve Japanese sake, right?
Hazaki.
Yeah, hot sake.
Hot
Japanese-
sake.
Yes.
So sushi really is Japanese though, isn't it? Didn't they invent it? Or not really?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah, so sushi. So you have the sake, Japanese rice wine sake.
Yeah, right.
Now when
Ichiban.
and what
Ichiban.
Ichiban. The beer.
the beer Ichiban.
Yes.
Yeah. So does you guys were both born in Taiwan? Does Taiwan eat a lot of Japanese food, or is it more Chinese food?
I think more Chinese food, but also see Taiwan is very diversified. So a lot of people eat not just certain, because Chinese love to eat. So that's why we have adapted all variety food. We have a Pizza Hut in Taiwan.
A Pizza Hut.
Yeah, we have a Kentucky Fried Chicken as well, right?
Did you
And
know that I
hamburger.
grew up in the same town as the founder of Pizza Hut?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I was born in Wichita, Kansas. So it was founded by Dan and his wife Beverly Carney and his brother Frank Carney.
Right.
And it was found right in Wichita, Kansas.
Wow.
And he was just a great man. Beverly passed away, but Dan is still going strong. And I think he grew up from one location to 2,800 locations, and then sold it to PepsiCo. Because there was a time where PepsiCo thought, how we can get Coke out of these restaurants? We'll start buying Pizza Hut and Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken and all that. So they thought that was the way, because then once they bought the restaurant, they could take away the Coke.
Right.
But then I guess that didn't work out at PepsiCo, so I guess they spun that off, and now that's called Yums.
Oh, Yums.
Yums, but that's the stock symbol, YUMS, Yums. And now they own all those restaurants. And I think they also picked up, what was the old hamburger? They had the Mama Burger, the Baby Burger, the Team Burger, A&W Root Beer.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah.
A&W Root Beer.
But so now there's a Pizza Hut in Taiwan.
Yes, the Pizza Hut. Yeah, there's a lot. Even Mexican restaurant too, right?
Right.
I forgot the name. They also have a Mexican restaurant there, but they are more expensive though than here.
Now here's a business tip. If you ever sit there working at a cubicle job and you hate your job, but you can't think of an idea, my brother moved to Australia 5 years ago.
Wow.
And he lives in the biggest city in Australia, Sydney. They have two big, Sydney and Melbourne is like half their population. I think they have 20 million people, and half of them live in two cities, Sydney and Melbourne. And guess what the number one thing he misses about America is?
Hamburger?
Mexican food.
Oh, Mexican food.
He said they have the Chinese food, the Japanese, they have all the food, but they don't even have, what is that? Chipotle. When he flies back to the United States after a 17-hour flight, the first thing he wants to do, if he's in Wichita, he goes to Taco Tico, and if he's in Phoenix, he goes to Macayo's, and I keep telling him he's the IT director for colleges to keep their networking going and all their computers. I say, well, why don't you just quit your job and start a Mexican restaurant? He says, I think about it every day.
Wow, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, my God, because, it's supply and demand.
That's right.
Is there much Mexican food in Taiwan?
Not that many, but they do have, right?
Right.
In the big city, like Taipei, the capital,
Now, is it just real small market, or do you see it taking off?
What?
I think it's very small market in Taiwan. Yeah.
In Taiwan, right? Because Chinese, Chinese dishes, there are so many, different dishes like Cantonese style or Fujian, or Shanghai or Sichuan. Sichuan is more spicy, flavor food. So there are so many, and it just we all enjoy it.
Well, there has to be a lot of different styles. I mean, China is 1/5. Just one country has 1 in every 5 people on Earth. I love going to China. I mean, I think it's one of the greatest countries in the world. I love all those countries. We've gone to Asia so many times. We've gone to Japan, Taiwan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia, Singapore.
Wow.
But I think the neatest thing about going to Singapore is that when you go to Canada, the satellite dishes on the house are facing a right angle towards the equator. And then when you go to Taiwan, they're like facing straight up because they're on the equator. They're like 1 degree away from the equator. I think that's you can always tell where the equator is by looking at where all the satellite antenna dishes are. Well, so what would you say to someone who's says, well, I already got a favorite restaurant that I go to, but they want to try something new. Why tell them why they should come see you?
All right. I think, first, because this restaurant is so a lot of spaces, and then they also have a beautiful party room. So it's accommodated, because sometimes you can hard to find the restaurant have a big space. You can have a big party. So like last time they have probably 80 people. The party.
80 people.
Yeah.
Now, did you have to close down the whole restaurant?
No. That's what I say. They
you
do
have a
have
space.
They do have a separate, party room, private party room.
That holds 80.
Yes.
Holy moly, that's a big room.
Yeah, it's a big room, and it's very nice too. Have a TV, all that and things there. So I think that provide the community opportunity if they want the anniversary party or birthday party or whatever they want. We have the facility to accommodate, and not only that, and then with the fresh Chinese dishes, and then with the Japanese Sushi Bar, and also American dishes like a roast beef, and if they like a seafood, we had them all.
Now, what if someone's like really into health and they really want to be healthy and they don't like to go to fast food? They won't eat at cheap. They won't go to McDonald's. What are the healthier items? Would you say it's the sashimi or if someone?
Sashimi and some fruits. Yeah, it's very healthy.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then salad, we got salad. Salad bar.
Yeah, salad bar. Yes, we have a salad bar. Like she's mentioned, sushi definitely is. If they you like seafood, definitely sushi bar is an excellent choice. Because if you go to the regular sushi restaurant, just one plate, it costs you fortune, right?
Right.
It costs you fortune. But here in the Peony Garden Buffet, you have a sushi bar. They made it right in front of you, fresh, and then it's included with the buffet.
So it's all you can eat sushi?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Wow.
So that's why it's.
And how much does that cost?
For the lunch only what?
$10.59.
And dinner
$10 for an all-you-can-eat.
$59.
$10.59.
59 cents.
Okay, $10.59 for lunch.
Right.
Right.
And what would dinner be?
It's $12.99.
Oh, no, it's 15 dinner.
Oh, $15.99. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
dinner
lunch is $10.59, and dinner's $15.99.
Yes.
But that's all you can eat.
Yes,
Right.
that is a very economical. I think it's one of my even myself one of my choice because I can pay very minimum amount of money and eat all different variety of food, and I can choose if which food I like to eat.
That is amazing that you do, because the one thing about sushi is it is expensive.
Yes, it
But
is.
all you can eat for $15.99 is not expensive. And their website is peonygardenbuffetco.com. So that's Peony, but the CO is for company.
Right.
Okay, so it's Peony, which is Peony, Garden Buffet, CO for company.com. And you can see the pictures on it. It's very, very beautiful. It's a very nice place. And so is there any other things that you wanted to say that I wasn't smart enough to ask you about?
Yeah, I just would like thank you to both of you let us to come, and then to kind of let people in our community aware this new restaurant, and then provide the services for the people. If they don't need to cook, they don't want to cook, they can go with the very good price and eat. They don't have to eat everything, but they can choose from Chinese, Japanese, sushi, or American, and dessert as well. So I think it's a wonderful service for the community.
Oh, the last thing I forgot to ask is what are your hours?
We open 11
11 o'clock
Two.
until 9 o'clock.
And on what days?
during the week.
So Monday through Friday, 11 to 9.
And then Friday, I think, and Saturday open until 10.
Okay, so Monday through Thursday, 11 to 9,
11 to 9:30.
9:30.
9:30, and then Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10.
To
Right.
10.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and then what about Sunday?
Sunday is 11 to 9:30, right?
Yes.
So you're open 7 days a week?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what day is your day off?
That's what we rotate.
You rotate your days off? Okay, so it's a Peony Garden Buffet CO.com. They're right at 48th and Chandler on the south side. So as you're driving out of Ahwatukee, as you pass 48th Street before you get to I-10, on the left side would be the Waffle House, and on the right side would be Dunkin' Donuts, and these two lovely ladies, Tauna Lorie and Lorie Liu. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and best of luck with your new company. We're rooting for you 110%.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.